So here we are with Amos. And the correct way to pronounce your last name is?
Wekesa.
Wekesa.
Wekesa is a name from my tribe and simply means someone who was born during harvest.
Someone who was born during harvest.
Yes.
What? Wekesa.
So the harvest period is called Likesa.
Okay.
So when you're born, the person who's born at that time, if you're a male, you're called Wekesa.
Okay.
If you're female, you're called Nekesa. So you're a harvester. So I was born during harvesting season.
Okay. Do you think that has had an impact on your personality?
I think it does. Sometimes the names we give to people, sometimes names have a very strong impact on people's lives. If I wake up and I give you a name Devil, it may have a negative connotation.
So to catch people up on what's already been a really fascinating conversation, you just got done climbing some of the most technically challenging, the most difficult mountain in all of Africa.
Yeah.
Do you want to describe the name of the mountain range, and why you do crazy things like climbing a mountain?
We just did the Rwenzoris. A lot of you can Google and find out about the Rwenzoris. The Rwenzori ranges are a block of mountains in Uganda actually. They're on the border of Uganda and Congo. The highest point of the range of mountains is about 5,109 meters, and snow-capped, crossed by the equator. That's very, very interesting. These ranges have about 16 different peaks on top, over 16 peaks, 5 of which have snow. They have glaciers, so which is fantastic. But I don't also believe that there's any mountain on the African continent that is as beautiful as the Rwenzoris. It's not there. Most of the mountains are just, walking mountains. This is a proper technical mountain because you use ropes, you use harnesses, you use the crampons for the snow. It's very nice. I love doing crazy stuff because I think that's what business people do.
Well, I think you said that it's a form of training. We shared the kind of endurance, long distance challenges that we both engage in, and it's not just ego or bragging rights. It's really the process of mastering yourself and setting a challenge and overcoming the obstacles.
Yeah, I wish it was a bragging thing. I think for me it's more of building the mind, because I personally believe that everything starts from the mind, and you must learn and read your own mind and see things that actually strengthen your mind. For me, strengthening my mind comes from things like taking on challenges.
Amen.
When COVID came, I thought I need to take on a new challenge in my life. Of course, I've been running, I played tennis, I played volleyball, played quite a lot of sports myself as a person. But I think when COVID started, I thought about doing a new thing that would challenge my mind, that would strengthen my mind, that would give me hope during the COVID period. Because tourism had been dead. I mean, tourism died in Uganda, maybe worldwide, for 2.5 years. We never had business.
So this is a huge fact that we should highlight, that you were, for many months, you were paying full salary, you were saying.
Absolutely, yeah, we were paying full salary. We didn't understand how long this COVID problem would take.
You're back to 100%.
I'm back to 100%.
But you were mentioning that there was a period during which you really were not happy with the way that you were thinking, and you needed a break, and that's when was it the biking?
True. Yeah, at that time, of course, I was engaging government. I'm a very strong advocate. If you Google my name, you see I do a lot of engaging of government. I do write, I do engage government individuals on topics that regard growth for Africa, for Uganda specifically. So I've spoken quite a bit. I do TV stuff, do radio program. So I engage. But at that time, I was a bit frustrated because I thought, maybe the government guys are not understanding where the challenges of COVID are to the economy, to the people, to the jobs. So I started getting frustrated in that regard. So I thought I need to do something to change my mind, but also to build my mind and make it resilient for the 2.5 years that the COVID was going to be on. So I started riding bicycles, and at one point we did 700 kilometers in 7 days. And we're not talking 700 kilometers on tarmac, we're talking about 700 through some of the toughest terrains in the country. So I did a lot of riding, but I also promised myself, yes, I am going to do another challenge of the most difficult mountain on the continent before I turn 50. So next year I turn 50. So this year was very important for me to actually do that challenge. So I did the climb with a group of 13 other friends, and it was massive, beautiful, challenging. Words cannot describe, first of all, the beauty of that mountain. They're not good words to actually be put together to describe how beautiful that mountain is. But also there are not enough words to describe how challenging that mountain is to go to the peak.
So, if you're keeping track or trying to take notes, maybe the first big takeaway of the conversation is you set these challenges as a way of building your mind, building resilience.
Yes.
Another huge point that echoes other stories in my first book, and hopefully you're going to be in my second book. You said on your own, without me prompting you, you said some themes that come up from these other stories, like things happen when you're in motion. Is that how you put it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Stuff comes together.
I know, Adam, you don't probably believe in God. I believe in God.
We already talked about God, right?
I believe God blesses the works of our hands. So our hands must be in action. Our thinking must be in action. When you move, God blesses you, in my opinion. It makes you meet people that you would have never met in life. I would have never met you.
Yeah, we need to point this out. The crazy coincidence, and while I'm not religious and I'm barely spiritual, I sometimes have to wonder, how did this happen in an airport line in Amsterdam? Just sharing randomly, hey, why are we in line? Where are we going? You know, it's the thoughtless sort of few words of nothing. Somebody says, oh, yeah, you're writing a book. What's your book about? I describe what the books are about. And she said, you have to meet my husband. He's perfect. He started poor, built an amazing business. He would love to his story is amazing. So that's the background coincidence. And then to add to the coincidence, you spoke at Babson. You taught at Babson. You were invited, and it might have been Leonard Schlesinger?
No, I was actually, students of Babson came to Uganda. 2013.
Okay. All right.
And I was invited to give a talk to the students about entrepreneurship.
Okay.
And so on, because Babson, I think, is more in an entrepreneurship school.
That's right.
I need to remember the name of the professor, but when I gave a talk, the professor removed his T-shirt with Babson
and gave it to you. And you still have it.
Yeah, I still have it. I still use it for my.
So I hope people get the amazing coincidence, the fact that we're here, or the fact that I was on my way to the middle of Africa and didn't quite have a nailed down plan, and then the plan just falls in my lap. Oh, my husband's going to adopt you, and he's going to tell you about his rags to riches story. So that we highlight your story's been. If people want to Google your story, it's elsewhere. But the highlights are.
But I must also say that I went to speak at the UN.
Oh yeah. We got to say this.
I went and spoke at the UN.
Spoke at the UN
because Babson, the lecturer at the time.
Yeah.
I think one of the students started working with the UN, and they needed integration of entrepreneurship in the SDG goals.
The Sustainable Development Goals.
Absolutely.
You were irritated that they were framing all of them as aid and assistance and donations.
Absolutely. I don't believe that aid helps grow people.
And you were saying they need to change the SDGs to reflect that.
No, they need to integrate entrepreneurship in the SDG goals such that the world does not look at Africa as a place which needs aid. Yeah. Africa is actually a very rich continent. Yeah. Uganda is beautiful. It's nice. People need to come and actually do business with Ugandans as opposed to aid. That was my whole discussion.
Do business with people instead of
absolutely. So there was a lady. So there was a representative from Israel. Then myself, I represented actually Africa. There was one of the heads of Babson College. There was someone from Canada. So in 2014, I came to speak at the UN, which was fantastic, and just negotiating and telling people why Africa does not need aid, why Africa needs needs to do business. Anyway, but you can see that's out of Babson. Just speaking to one. A coincidence happens that I speak to Babson students. These Babson students, a few months or a year or two later, they give me an opportunity to speak at the UN. Many years down the line, I'm meeting you.
And we're. Anyways, I hope the coincidences are now that anybody can appreciate it that's watching this. Should we go through a few highlights, including some of the questions, or should we could cover some of the other big themes that we realized that it's important to share what you're working on. That'll come up when we share some highlights of your story of going from slums. You didn't go to school until the age of 10. During the Idi Amin era of the 1970s, you were smuggling over which border?
I was born in a extremely very abject poverty-stricken home, I must say, on the border of Uganda and Kenya, in a place called Ruakaka, which I love talking about because I swear I keep telling guys I'm the best export of Ruakaka to the world. From my village to the world.
Not Wakanda.
Not Wakanda.
Wakaka.
By the way, the name Wakanda is from Uganda.
I'm beginning to think Wakanda is Uganda.
Absolutely, because what happens is that the Kenyans in the western part of Kenya call a Ugandan, a single Ugandan, Mukanda. And then they call a group of Ugandans Wakanda.
Really?
Yeah, that's how it is. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
the mystery of...
That's where Wakanda comes from.
Wakanda means a group of...
So you're actually in the land of Wakanda, man. So that's where you are.
Hello, guys, from the land of Wakanda.
So anyway, so my family was very poor. It was a very complicated family situation where Our firstborn had a different dad. The secondborn had a different dad. Myself had a different dad. So it also complicated, but also brought a lot of misery and poverty. But I also believe that over drinking was one of the problems that actually caused.
This is why you said coffee, not rum.
Yeah,
when I offered to bring a gift.
Absolutely. Just because I saw how many people that have gone down because of alcohol.
It can kill you. My brother died in an alcohol-related incident.
Yeah, because I've seen how many guys have died because of that. Yeah. How many guys have lost their potential as a people.
Yes, their potential. They have hurt others.
Yes,
killed themselves.
Yeah, I've also seen my own family go through poverty, partly because they would drink every little cent they got. So I decided I would never drink in my life. So I've never drank. I would never drink alcohol in my life.
Wow.
That's the decision I made.
Okay.
It's personal. My friends drink.
Yeah.
I don't mind them drinking, but I also would advise them if they're over drinking that it's not right.
No, it's not healthy. It's not good for you.
Healthy. Yeah. So anyway, so we really lived in abject poverty. I never had blanket or shoes or mattress. We just slept on mats that we used to do as kids. So at the age of 10, I was moved by Salvation Army to Salvation Army Children's Home in Tororo, where I went to nursing school at the age of 10. Mm-hmm. I did love primary because I think I did very well.
Did you actually like learning?
I liked learning at that time, yes I did. But I think later when I went to secondary school, it changed a bit because I went to what they would call secondary school 1. Mm-hmm. Grade 1 is in secondary, I think. Mm-hmm. I lost it because I was 17 years old. Mm-hmm. The hormones are working, my minds are haywire. I just started deteriorating until by the time I finished 6 years, my performance was extremely very poor. Okay. And so I remember in the home, the Salvation Army Children's Home, a doctor who was working, Canadian doctor who was working in the hospital, came and just said, in May 1996, and said, that guy should be sent to Kampala to do a certificate in tourism. I think he would be successful. I had no idea about this. I didn't know about Dr. Rose. I wanted
to ask you about this. Like, do you know why you got chosen along with that other student to get a full scholarship? That was part of the story that I saw in another video. No, what did people see in you? And then this guy saying that you need to get a tourism certificate. What did they see?
I don't know. I think that's why I believe in God. There's so many parts of my story that I can't tell.
Yeah. You don't know why.
You just happened. But I think now that I'm older, mm-hmm. I believe that it was a divine appointment. I believe that God had a much bigger purpose for me than I probably knew, and probably the society knew. Okay. Because there's a very sad part of my story that, like for my mom, every time my mom saw me cried. So about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I asked her why she always cried when she looked at me. Mm-hmm. And then she said, when I was just born, life was extremely so hard for her. And one day, so she contemplated killing me on a Friday. Not because she didn't like me, but because she just never had anything. She's just too poor. And so she said, on a Wednesday, I slept in the night, and 6 guys came to me and said, you don't know who you're dealing with. That guy, don't touch him. That's how I survived. That's what she said. That dream in the night is actually what saved me.
It was a dream in the night that 6 guys came to her.
Yes, and said, just don't touch that guy. But I also see it. I mean, there's been a lot of divine appointment in my life. I mean, I've done a lot of advocacy. If you Google my name, you'll see that there was a purpose to which God wanted me to live for. So,
in case anybody's wondering, I don't do this to preach or push religion, but this is authentically you. Yeah. This is a fascinating point that some people really believe in destiny and that there's a higher power at work. And do you think it gives you confidence? Somebody was saying that the most important thing to be happy in life is actually confidence.
Yeah.
Would you say that it's confidence?
I think so. I think.
Because you've lost or come close, or you actually had nothing when you started.
Yeah.
So it's really confidence that.
Yeah, I've always been a very confident person, I must say.
That was the key.
But I've also done. I think happiness comes from a number of factors. In my opinion, a number of factors that bring in happiness. I do things, for example, that I love. I love, engaging with people and engaging with people. The other thing that I do, spiritual connection for me brings me happiness. Mm-hmm. The other thing that I also do is physical exercise. That also brings happiness. Yeah. So all these factors, but I also try to just not be in the middle of fights with people. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people wonder why I'm generally a very happy person. I mean, if my wife can tell you that, my children can tell you that. Mm-hmm. Just been. I mean, I was a tour guide. Some of the tourists would be so angry with me because after 21 days, of seeing me smile and laugh every day, and they're like, "Why are you smiling? Why is you're poor but you're happy?" That came up over and over again from my tourists. For they would wonder they have more money, but they were not as happy as I was as a person. But I also relate very well with people. So basically, that for me is a very good thing. So I believe in divine.
Should we get back to the thread of the story? You said that you were doing badly in school, but somebody saw you and said that you have to go and get a tourist certificate.
Yeah, but I must also say the first week of May, 1996, I realized I had a chance to go to school, and I would have performed very well because I was stupid, but I did not put in the necessary efforts. Okay. So the first week, I remember putting my knees down and praying and saying, "God, should you ever give me a second chance?" Because I've lost the first chance. Yeah. And it was purely because of me. I had no one else to blame. Yes, much as we were poor in the home, but at least school fees was paid. So I was far much better off than the majority of the kids in my village, in that whole area at the time. But I did not take advantage of the situation. So then, of course, I came to terms with myself and I said I was responsible for my failure in school. So I said if God gave me a second chance, I would work like a donkey. And I got it. So the third week of May, that's when this Canadian doctor came called Dr. Ross, who was working in hospital, and said, "Take that guy to study a certificate in tourism." That's how they put me on the bus to the capital city.
Is it the still the Salvation Army School?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
Really quick aside, when you were smuggling, what were you smuggling exactly?
No, at the time of Idi Amin, there was no sugar, there were no tea leaves.
No tea leaves?
Yeah, things like tea leaves. No sugar.
And so what you would buy it in Kenya?
I would buy sugar in Kenya.
And run it over the border?
Yeah, running it over the border or soda.
Do you think it helped become a business person? You were not even 10 years old and buying and selling stuff.
Yeah, I started, I think, age of 6.5. We had no choice. Every kid did that. And it was easier to use children because the army would not shoot the kids. The Kenyan army wouldn't shoot the kids.
But they would kill grown-ups.
Yeah, they would some adults. Yeah, they would kill some adults. So the kids, they wouldn't. So, and also would carry little. So the army guys were sympathetic. So the families really used the kids. So all the kids participated in the smuggling at the time because it was just total poverty here. Crazy poverty. So but I must also that just helped with the growth of resilience for me as a kid. I don't know how many times I nearly was swept by the rivers because we crossed the river to go across the border.
Wow.
Many times I nearly died. But yeah, that's real life. I think for me, one of the things I know in life is that, to be honest, the worst thing in life is not to die. The worst thing in life is to live a very useless life. As person, I believe that. I believe that death is not something I wake up and worry about. No, I worry about the fact that I may not be able to do something that is very important. Okay. Yeah, that's it.
This is really interesting stuff. Okay, and then the when you were earlier telling me the steps, you did not get a major investment or loan to start this huge tourism business that you have.
Well, would I get that?
You were describing how you basically were still living in a slum.
Yeah.
That you worked in various roles for a tourism company.
Yeah.
And when you started your own side hustles to get cash flow, you never took a loan. You never got an investment.
Nothing. I don't even have a loan up to now.
Wow. And so all bootstrapped. And to get cash flow, you were living in a slum, super low cost life, but you were. Basically, if I can repeat to make sure I understand.
I was paying $1.50. Just
$1.50
for a small room in a slum.
For how? For a week?
For a month.
For a month. $1.50.
That was possible at the time, of course. Even now, you can $20 you can get a room, a month in a slum.
I'll keep that in mind if I run out of money. If I understood your business, you looked for people with nice cars and asked them, hey, how would you like to make? What are you using your car for during the weekend?
No, but at first, I started out as a cleaner, so I was cleaning in a tourism business.
Okay, right.
After I got my certificate.
Right.
That was my first job, earning about $10 a month. And then my second job was an office messenger, cleaning people's offices and so on. And going out to taking stuff to the post office at the time.
Right.
Because there were no emails at the time. There was no internet. So you would go take communication in the tour company when they're communicating with clients overseas. I go to the post office, they fax the stuff, and that was my role. My third job became a tour guide. That's when I discovered my gifts. I knew that I was good with people. That's when I discovered sometimes we have to do so many things in life to actually discover what you're good at.
It's true.
And when you discover your passion, you just enjoy it. It's fun. And I've enjoyed so many years of doing business myself in tourism. So anyway, that's when I discovered myself. Then I tried to work for someone for a year, specifically to engage sales, directing sales with clients. But the person did not like tourism; he liked tickets, So I resigned and started my first business with $200, and that's Great Lake Safaris. So I registered a company, had a briefcase, I had an invoice in that briefcase, a plastic briefcase, an invoice, and a receipt book.
And what my question was, what's the first thing that you spent money on? What was it? The first thing?
A receipt book and an invoice.
A receipt book and an invoice.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, because I needed those ones. I was going to try and do business.
But then it totally makes sense, because it turns out that the way that you got cash flow was, again, this whole thing about cars on weekends.
Yeah. So what happens? So when I left working for someone, I knew I had no income.
Right.
So I looked around and I thought, okay, what's the one thing that I can do to survive in the meantime as I chase my own dream?
Yeah.
For cash flows, because cash flows are king of assets, especially if the assets don't bring cash flows.
Right.
Any day.
Right.
So anyway, I stop people on the street. I find Adam and say, Adam, you're driving a Mercedes Benz. I stop you. Adam, what are you using a Mercedes Benz on a Saturday for? Mm-hmm. Adam maybe having a bad attitude. You may say, terrible, I'm back. You're stupid, don't. So it's fine. When you're poor, you don't even care about
that. Yeah, you don't care about rejection.
Yeah, I don't care about rejection.
Yeah, move on to the next person.
Then I move on to the next time. The next guy says, don't disturb me. So fine. Yeah. The third guy says, do you have any proposal? And I say, I have a proposal. I'll give you, I'll charge $50. I'll give you $35 for every Saturday it works. And it was good money at the time.
Right.
And then I'll take $15. He says, fine, if you find business.
Right.
So I take a picture of your car and I put it in my plastic briefcase, and I take another one. So I look for blue, 3 of them. I look for yellow, same types.
Right.
Then I go and attend wedding meetings where I'm not invited. So because wedding meetings.
When you say you attend wedding meetings without an invitation, do you mean going to a wedding or a planning meeting?
They're planning. Yeah, people plan meetings. Plan weddings for months.
Okay.
And a specific area, so you'd either find them in the bars or churches or
planning their weddings. Theaters. Wow, and you'd find them and walk in and say, hey.
I'll just walk in and sit in the back.
Okay.
No one's going to tell whether I am part of the group or no. So no one will tell.
Amazing.
So, but when they would start saying, okay, but now we need, to do all the budgets, flowers, cake, and then there will be cars for hire. Then I say, guys, I have the cars for hire. And then I said, they're here. I have different colors of the cars in the briefcase. Because
now it makes perfect sense.
Opportunities don't come to you. You go to look for opportunities.
Yeah.
They cannot find you in your bed.
This is finally becoming clear for me. You basically hung around a place where these wedding parties would be needing cars for hire.
Yeah.
You then went back to the owner of the car and said, you find a driver.
Yes.
Let the driver you've selected drive your car under your insurance. And you basically took a sort of matchmaking.
A commission. I'm just a commission. I was just a commission agent. Yeah.
That person gets $35 for their car driving around, minus the cost of the driver.
So weddings are Saturdays here. Yeah. So by 5 a.m., I would be at a church washing bay, car washing bay. I'll be there at 5 a.m. Wow. Make sure the cars are washed, and then we hand over to the people who paid. So all I did was make sure that no one can say that guy cheated me. Right. Neither the guy's wedding or the owner of the cars. So I made sure I made a very good name.
Yes.
And started growing. So people started knowing me for a guy who has cars for weddings, which I didn't have, which I didn't own. Yeah. All I need was just to be a middleman.
Yeah.
That's what I did. But I saw it brought in some good cash flows.
So you got good cash flows. Your cost of living is still $1.50.
Yeah, I never changed.
$1.50.
I was just scared of poverty.
Yeah.
Even now, I do everything because I know what poverty is. There's nothing. Poverty is very demeaning. Poverty is not a good thing.
Yeah.
According to me, it's not a good thing. I don't even think anybody's going to go to heaven because it's poor. No. I don't believe in that. It is just so demeaning. So when I realized that for me to fight it, I need to understand that. Because to grow resources, very basic thinking. You have to find a source of income. You have to save as much as you can. You have to invest what you have saved as much as you can. But you must also watch your lifestyle. So it doesn't matter how much job you get, how much you're able to earn, how much you're able to save, how much you're able to invest. If your lifestyle is poor, it kills every effort that you have in life.
Well, if your lifestyle, I think you're saying two things. I think you're saying you keep your costs low,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
but you also take care of yourself.
If an extravagant lifestyle.
Yeah, no, an extravagant lifestyle is actually bad for you, right?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
lifestyle
yeah.
can either grow you
Or kill you.
Kill you. That's for sure.
Yeah, amen.
So for me, I think it was a very powerful thing for me to learn. So I believe that I need to look like $1,000, and yet I'm worth $10,000. That's what I believe.
Okay.
I don't have to please anybody. I don't have to show off to anybody.
You're exactly like me.
That's how it's supposed to be.
I don't update my car. I don't update my clothes.
Absolutely. I drive a 22-year-old car, but it
Yes.
doesn't mean. But I have a dream. I wanted to drive a brand new car when I turn 50. I know, because when I turn 50, my son, firstborn, turns 18.
Okay.
So we're going to drive from Uganda to South Africa. That is our
Fantastic.
celebration. Yeah,
Fantastic.
that's our celebration of my firstborn.
That's going to be great.
So anyway, so that was the whole thing. So I started getting some little money, but I kept living in a slum. I kept, enjoying my meal once in a while when I could. I just kept saving and investing, and then I started going now for my real dream. My dream was tourism.
Yeah.
So I went to Parliament of Uganda, and I started talking to members of Parliament who had nice big 4-wheel drives. 2 of them accepted to give me their cars. So I would get their Land Cruisers, and I go to the tour companies and I say, there are 2 things here. 1, I have access to a car, a Land Cruiser, but 2, I'm also a tour guide. So I can drive the cars and I can take the tourists, and you'll be happy. I'll go like your worker. So people started giving me business. So I started taking tourists until people started recommending me. So I appeared in the Washington Times because of a lady called Cynthia, who was working with the World Bank at the time, who came in January 2002.
So she writes a profile that further increases your visibility.
Absolutely. She enjoyed her safari. She was like, this is the best experience. We took her to Kenyan National Park.
And I asked you, what makes you such a good tour guide? Why are these people so happy? And I said, is it because you could find the animals better than other people?
No, I think at that time I could find animals quite. I'm now older, of course.
Yeah.
I would find animals easily. In fact,
But
for a long time I didn't know that my sight had gone. So it's not as good. So I think like 10 years ago, and I kept thinking, why don't I have the same magic that I had in seeing animals like that? Then I thought, maybe things have just changed for me.
Yeah.
But I go to the eye doctor, and I realize actually my eyes don't work as perfect as they used to work.
Right.
So anyway,
this is a huge point though that you answered, that it's because you can match people well. You match the guides with the clients well.
Yes, I'm very good at putting teams together. That's one of the reasons why I run quite a number of multiple businesses. It's because I can put people together. But I also learn. I read. I engage with people. I have mentors in different areas. It's very difficult to find one mentor that has everything that you need. But so I have mentors in different areas of my life: marriage, work, business. But even in business, I have someone who understands accounts, one who understands law, another one understands. So I speak to the different people to get assorted knowledge for what I'm able to do. So anyway, so I started making money. So Cynthia comes in January 2002. She goes for a trip. She enjoys her trip and says, well, I'm going to recommend your thought about, maybe it's just emotion. She goes, and she recommends a group from World Bank that had come to do research on malaria in May 2002. One guy called Tom loved to see different species of birds. He was just a great birder. And I gave him a guy that knew about 700 different species of birds called Martin O'Cott. They went to Queen Elizabeth National Park among the 6 people. I met the guy in Sheraton after his 3 trips. So one of the things that I did at the beginning,
the pre-briefing and
was
debriefing.
briefing and debriefing of clients.
This is something everybody could learn from. What was so valuable about this?
One is that I needed to brief every tourist that we got over dinner before they left for the trip.
About culture,
about
what
the
to
culture,
talk about, what not to do.
What to expect, what not to do, what to do, whether the possible challenges, the possible opportunities, timekeeping, the itinerary, and how things are going to be, what time the drivers will pick them, where they will sleep, give them all thorough briefing of what they were going to do. Then after every trip, I met them for dinner. I had a lot of dinners. So every end of trip, I met the clients. One is to just get a feedback of what they did. So I got feedback from every client. But what was also key was during the feedback, I would also then give my dream. I would share my dream, where I want to go. And it's amazing. Not everybody will buy into your dream, but the reality is some of them will go out of their way to help you build your dream.
Then this is a huge unifying theme of these stories that I've been collecting.
Yeah.
And you perfectly said it, exactly what I was writing in some notes yesterday.
Yeah.
First of all, you stay in motion because opportunities happen once you're in motion.
Yeah.
2, share your crazy ideas.
Yes. Never fear to share your ideas.
Not everybody will come out and help, but there will be some people that just love the idea of helping you achieve your dream.
Absolutely.
In ways that you can't even foresee.
Yeah, the thing is that we're human beings. We can never tell what is in the heads of other people that we're going to meet until they get to know what we're thinking about. That's when they'll be able to share some of the ideas. You'll be shocked. The people you probably undermine will be the people that actually give you the best of the ideas.
Who will give you the best ideas?
Sometimes you'll be shocked that the people you probably undermine or underlook will be the people that will give you some of the best ideas that you'll ever apply. But anyway, so this Tom Carter goes and I meet him at Sheraton. He has a hard, good time. I couldn't bring him. That time I'd go to my first office. It was under the staircase, so he was too tall American guy.
This we need to emphasize this. You and somebody else under a staircase.
That was our first business.
How much were you paying in rent per month?
$20. So I was paying $10 a month, and the lady was paying $20. So 2 businesses under
a staircase. And one of the clients you couldn't meet with there because he was too tall.
All my clients were taller than me. But anyway, so Tom enjoyed his trip. He was very happy. He says, "This guy is the Batman of Uganda."
Batman of Uganda.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, Martin's a good guy. So he goes and says, "Well, I'm in the US, I'll do something." So, but meanwhile now, it's becoming a challenge. I've taken up my first office. I've taken on my first employee. Things are becoming tougher because, I have to pay an extra person. I remember, I think from June to about October 2002, many times I contemplated closing. And that's the time when people that knew me, some of the people that knew me would come and say, "We told you would never succeed." When I was young, I was to get angry. But now I realize that
you like the challenge.
I like the challenge, but also people tell you what they think of themselves.
When they criticize you, they're criticizing weaknesses of their own or doubts of their own, or it's out of jealousy sometimes.
Yes, yeah, that's how they feel of themselves. So they will try to bring the point out as though they're telling you, but that's how they think of themselves. So, but I only knew that because I'm now mature enough. I've grown to understand that you never take personal what people tell you. It's a very fantastic thing. So November 2002, 22nd, I get a phone call from the US. "My name is Tom Carter. I'm an editor with the Washington Times. I wrote an article about Uganda. Herds bypass Uganda. Such a beautiful country without tourists." So first group comes, second group comes, third group, and I start just buying car. First car for the business, second car for the business, third car for fifth car. I'm still living in the slum because I'm scared of the poverty. And then I started going into property business at the time. I did a lot of buying of property.
Buying and then renting? Out?
No. I was just buying. I would go out of the city and buy cheap land at the time.
Okay. And then sell it when somebody wants to construct.
I have not even sold it. Quite a lot of it is just there.
Still there?
But it's just gained so much value. I mean, some of the land that I bought, say, $500 is like $300,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So you have some serious.
Yeah, I've done. I was proper insurance.
yeah. That's
I've that area. But I was also mentored. Someone told me something that I didn't understand many years ago. My landlady and landlord told me that if you're young, never hurry to buy a property within the city. Go 40 kilometers outside the city, Kampala, and buy because the population will continue to grow. So they gave me that insight. And they gave me their personal story. And I thank God for their lives. They told me a right thing. And I remember them telling me one day, because of what you're doing, of buying these properties, you'll be shocked how wealthy things will turn out. And it's just growing. It's not stopping.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was a very good, very good stuff. So I started appearing in different newspapers, different around the world. People started enjoying their trip. But one thing that I learned, especially in 2002 January, from Cynthia and hiring out of the cars, if you don't cheat clients, if you actually promise stuff and you provide it, you can only just grow. Yeah.
Deliver.
Yeah.
Deliver. And
just deliver on what you say. Deliver on time, deliver well, deliver peacefully, deliver, and when you do wrong, apologize. We as a company, if we messed up a client, we would refund 100% of the client's money if we're responsible for the challenge of the time. So for me, that is been one of the most powerful tools that I've been able to use. But I've also, of course, later I got married 2003.
Yeah, how did you meet exactly? Amy was a missionary. Right?
Yeah, she came in as a missionary.
And so you were already religious.
Yeah, I don't call myself religious. I'm a believer. I believe that is God.
Okay.
I believe there's stronger power out there. Just based on my life, I still believe that it takes a lot more faith not to believe that God exists. Personally,
it takes more faith to believe God doesn't exist.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
because I look at
kind of like that. I am a person of faith.
Yeah. I look at my heart. It's pumped for the last 49 years.
Yeah.
Without.
It's a miracle, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is.
My brains. I've never seen them.
Oh yeah.
Probably never.
Well,
seen
actually, your eyes are part of your brain, supposedly.
Eh?
According to Huberman, hey Huberman, if you're watching this, he's got a great podcast. He's a neuroscientist. He won't watch this. He's too famous now. He points out that the eyes are part of the brain.
That's fantastic.
They're a part of your nervous system.
Oh, okay. But the thing is that I've never seen the matter itself. So
well,
what I'm saying is
you're right. You haven't seen the inside.
But it's worked for the last 49 years.
It is a miracle as well.
And I also believe.
And the fact how much it can remember and learn.
Yeah, and
balance,
I've read about reproduction process. I've read about the Milky Way galaxy and how it is. It's just
the complexity is
it's
difficult
a complexity
to believe.
around it,
and difficult to believe that it's an accident.
Absolutely, it's very hard. And I mean also in tourism.
Yeah,
nature speaks to you. It does.
I wanted to ask you about this. Yeah. It's got to be a spiritual experience.
Yeah.
But the part about meeting your wife, I was curious about, because if she came here to convert people, did you guys meet in sort of a conversion context? Like, did she come to your wherever you were living and say, "Hey, I know the true religion. Let me convert you."
I loved volunteering.
Okay.
I was volunteering at the Babson Center.
Oh, and that's where she came to.
Yes,
to work.
but
okay. Right.
I volunteered. Then I brought my cousin. I said, I used to clean the place. I used to do popcorns. I used to do tea, make tea for university students every Friday. So thank God it's a Friday. It's a Baptist Student Center.
Yeah.
So my work was to be part of the leadership, and part of the leadership meant cleaning the floors, chairs, arranging stuff, and helping with leadership. Okay. That was what I was doing.
And that's where you ran into each other.
No, then I mentored my cousin brother. So when she came, she phoned my cousin brother. So my cousin brother would tell her and a friend, I'm going to take you to some place in the tour. And he doesn't know where it is. And then I would drive them. And that's how I met a beautiful woman that I've married for the last 19 years.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So basically your cousin said, let's go see something.
Yeah, over and over again. I started seeing a good person.
And then your cousin asked you to drive and show.
So I would do that, every time.
Okay.
And so
that's okay. Thanks for.
But don't forget that this is also divine appointment.
Okay.
You're in touch with Amy. She can confirm that.
Well, how can she confirm that it was a divine appointment?
Let me tell you.
Okay.
When she was 14, 13, she wrote a placard.
Oh wow! Okay.
On that placard had a map of Africa.
Get out of here! Okay.
That map of Africa had the equator.
Her
famous cookies were called Famous Amos, so she put the name Amos at 13 years old.
Oh.
I think I have a picture up here. I think
I was going to ask if somebody kept it.
Yeah, it's there. Then her favorite time in the morning was 9:27. Now think about 9:27. 9:27. As it's written, 9:27. Now, I'm in France with friends. I'd gone to Holland. And so I have so many friends. I know many people in Holland and other countries because I was a tour guy.
Yeah.
So we're skiing in France.
Oh, wow. You skied in France.
2002.
Oh, wow.
Towards the end.
Okay.
So I started making some money, but my friends had taken me.
Yeah.
In La Plagne, in Albertville. So we're there. So I asked them, when is the best time for them to come for our wedding? The 2020. 2013,
Okay.
2003. And they said September. So I chose the 27th of September. And the 27th of September is written in that card.
And did you know about this card?
No, the mother handed it over to us on the wedding day. She had forgotten about it.
She had forgotten about the card? She didn't
Amy had
remember
no
that?
idea, nothing.
Maybe
nothing.
I'm thinking subconsciously, maybe she was waiting until, or that when she met somebody named Amos, it was
No,
like,
no.
you
She
know,
had no. It had nothing to do with
Wow,
that.
wow.
Even the time, it had nothing. It's on our wedding day that the mom presented.
How did
to
you guys
us.
react? You must have freaked out.
Yeah, but every time we have a fight, then I realized that this was a divine appointment. So
Right.
yeah,
So
it
get
helps.
over it.
Yeah, get over it. Yeah, it helps. And she's done a fantastic job as a stay-home mom. Mostly, she's done a lot of good work with my kids.
Well, she does a great
With our
job.
kids.
First of all, connecting us too.
Yes.
As a promoter of the business and the brand.
She's my number one
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah.
She says I'm the fastest running car that she's ever seen,
Oh,
and
wow.
she's the brakes in it.
That's pretty. I would think that's a very good compliment.
It's also not easy to marry a businessman. I think I commend her. It's not easy because I travel quite a lot. With people quite a lot, and so someone just standing by you is a very important aspect. You come home, there's no quarrels. You feel nice. I come home quite early when I am.
So this taps into a huge area of questions about partnerships, team matchmaking in terms of matchmaking of all kinds. You talked about matchmaking of clients and tour guides.
Yeah.
Do you think that sort of an alpha personality like you know, active, social, the fastest car, right?
Yeah.
Do you need somebody who is the brakes, or could two alphas work? Could two people that are as into their jobs, their careers, be a partnership, or is that not as good in your opinion?
Hard.
It's harder when they're two. Yeah.
It's harder. I mean, look, my wife
sometimes happens.
my wife thought I was gonna do. I am a very loud thinker. So when I think about an idea, I think loudly. I
This
talk
is a
about
great
it.
theme, yeah. A
And that's
loud
how it
thinker.
confirms. And one of the reasons why is one, if I think out loud, I talk about things. No, I want to build a lodge, a safari lodge, and it must be a nice lodge. So two things I'm looking for. One is to reconfirm in my head I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
But two, I also want people to tell me I can't do it. Because I like going against what people think I can do. That naturally I am.
So in a conversation, you like to sometimes say things so people will say, "I don't know if you can do it," and that makes you want to do it more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That drives me like crazy.
I agree with you.
But I don't take it personal when I've succeeded in it. I just move on.
I agree with you on the first part, that saying things out loud with somebody can help clarify your own thinking.
Yes.
Clarify what you really mean.
Yeah.
Get it out of your head and onto paper or in a conversation.
Yeah.
Two, do people saying, "No, you can't do it," I don't know if it quite has the same impact on me. When I hear that, "No, you can't do it," I sometimes think, "Man, I should think about why are they telling me I can't do it?"
Yeah.
They might have a point. Let's look into it.
No, but by the time I speak like that, I have thought through what
You've
I'm
already
thinking
thought through
of.
the weaknesses.
Yeah. But generally speaking, you have to assess who is listening to you.
This is true.
What do they mean to you?
And how much do they know?
Yeah, how much do they know about what you're talking
And
about?
what expertise, right?
Absolutely.
Are they speaking from a point of knowledge?
Absolutely. But I'm not speaking from the point of knowledge, forget about it.
Yeah.
But quite a number would say, you're not going to succeed. I mean, I've been told many times I can't succeed in one thing.
How many other businesses are there?
Which one?
Because you mentioned that you bought real estate over your whole life. You mentioned you have these lodges now. 4 lodges?
Yeah, and I had bought another one in Tanzania, which is a 5th.
Yeah. And you have an office in Kigali. They
Yeah,
said.
but yes, I have an office in Uganda as well.
And and so there's the lodges.
So I'm going to marine business. So I've got beautiful marine boats
They mentioned potentially boats and planes.
Yeah, in the future. Yeah, that's for sure. I'm gonna own some planes. It doesn't hurt.
So is it cargo? You want to do trade? You want to do transportation of goods? Is that?
No. I'm doing. So I started with Great Lake Safaris. Then I realized, okay, along the chain, who takes the most money from the whole trip? So I started accommodation. So I'm now working on a circuit of a number of accommodations across the country. I've remained with about 3-4 to finish that circuit. Okay. So under Uganda lodges, so I own that. Now, but I also believe that, I also, because of COVID, so 2 of us pretty much put in about $4.5 million to build an agro-processing plant. So we process about 18 types of grains.
Wow.
So we're starting actually to do proper business next month.
just in time because of the cutoff
Yes.
of Ukrainian grain.
Absolutely.
How much do you know? Did you research how much grain here was coming from Ukraine and Russia?
A lot of wheat. I just did not know how big actually
It was a lot.
Ukraine and Russia were.
Yeah.
Okay,
A lot of people,
wow.
a lot of us didn't know.
Even now, when I started building because I was, first of all, it was partly because of panic, because I needed to diversify. I have a family, a young family, they need to survive.
And your tourism business
And
is-
my tourism business had faced the stiffest of challenges.
Frozen for
ever.
2 years, yeah.
For 2.5 years, actually.
2.5.
So I started diversifying. But then that's when I started discovering about how much Ukraine had powers.
Yeah.
But it was also giving me an opportunity to have quite a bit of demand. So I have tons of demand of like soya from German and
Where does the stuff grow in the raw material?
in Uganda we have
You grow
Uganda.
what?
If you get Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, and Rwanda put together, we have 48.9% of the arable land.
In the world.
And it's the only country in East Africa pretty much that has 2 seasons. So you have the season which is beginning in July, harvesting, then another season in December. So we have 2 major rains, so that's to determine the 2
If
seasons.
there are 2 major rains, does that mean 2 major harvests?
Yeah, 2 major harvests. That's what it means.
That's so that. Sorry to be so ignorant.
So
but
the May,
does that mean
May,
that- does that
March,
mean-
May.
So does that mean that you have? Do you know how many harvests they had in Ukraine? Just one, or
I
did they fit
think they had 1, but major.
one big one, and you have 2,
2 seasons, yes.
and so you actually might produce more per acre, per unit of land.
I think the people that had probably technology, much better technology, but we could produce that.
Okay.
Our land is fertile. The thing is that we do not use lots of GMO or fertilizers.
Amazing. To clarify the statistic, you said you have 48.9%
Of
the
East
la-
Africa's arable land.
of East Africans are okay.
Arable
Africa,
land.
okay.
85% of our land is arable.
Wow.
Of the country, like
Wow.
arable. Arable, I mean that you can throw a seed of mango any part of this country. A few years later, you come, you will eat a mango.
So it's not that disastrous for this part of the world. This part of East Africa can be self-sufficient.
Yeah, but you've never had Ugandans going hungry.
Yeah.
We never do because of the fertile soils that we have.
Right.
It also contributes to our laziness sometimes.
I'm sorry.
It contributes to our laziness sometimes because it's food.
Right.
Sometimes you don't forget that quite a bit of your successes as Americans or people in the Western world is partly because you have very, very tough winter seasons.
I've always
You only have
wondered-
6 months of the year.
I've always wondered about this, whether the northern climates or even the southern extremes away from the equator,
Yeah.
you have a different culture, a different. There's just different patterns.
Yes,
And
the
part of-
weather is a very key important.
And I think I've always grown up thinking it's got to have something to do with being miserable and cold.
Absolutely.
For half the year. If it were tropical and beautiful,
You would just look in Europe. Look at Europe.
Yeah.
You go to Spain.
Yeah.
The half north,
Yeah.
the colder part of Spain
Yeah.
has richer people than they have on the lower
and
part
as
of
you
Spain.
go south towards
Yeah.
the warm climate,
Yeah, if you're in Malaga, it's clean. It says the weather is nice. It's warm.
Is this politically incorrect? Are we allowed to say this?
Yeah,
Or is-
well, they can think whatever they think, but it's true. What I'm
Yeah,
trying to say
yeah,
is that
yeah.
you look at yourselves. You have 6 months.
Of misery.
Of misery.
So what are you going to do? You're going to sit, study, and
No, but you have to think about it. You have to think about. You need winter clothes. You need
Yeah.
summer clothes. You need. We don't need that.
So in other words, it contributes to the need for industry as well.
Absolutely, it
Okay.
does. It helps with creativity. It helps with long-term planning. It helps with,
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
You can't just improvise when nature wants to kill you.
Absolutely. So for us here, for you to become wealthy,
Yeah.
you just have to go and get it.
You have to go against the comfort of the tropics.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
I don't know if any anthropologists or historians are totally going to rip this apart, or if there are
Absolutely.
going to be complaints that we're somehow politically incorrect. but here it is. You're hearing from somebody in a nice place saying, "Yeah, you know what? We need to fight against the instinct to just relax in a nice climate."
Absolutely. And I tell people it's hard for people to get wealthy here.
It's
Or
hard to get
wealthy. Yeah, why?
Yeah.
Because we have, like if you look Uganda has more inland water bodies. We have probably more freshwater lakes and rivers of any country per kilometer in the world. I think there's
and
no country.
some of them are swimmable, right? Some
Yeah,
of them don't
most
have
of
to
them.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have hundreds and hundreds of lakes, including a big portion of Lake Victoria, which is the world's second largest freshwater lake in the world. You have the longest river in the world, the Nile. You've got powerful waterfalls. You've got so many rivers and lakes because of the mountains. We're like
The quiet Switzerland of Africa.
Absolutely,
We know who the better advertised Switzerland of Africa
So basically, that is. So it's
is.
difficult.
Rwandan friends, don't be offended.
I know.
They admire your marketing. They're just saying they think
No,
they
they're
can.
good. Those boys are good in marketing.
Yeah.
I
But
have respect for them.
This is what I kept hearing the whole trip so far is that you guys have just as much to offer. It's just the world doesn't know quite as much. Uganda has
not just as
we
much.
hear about Rwanda more.
Let me tell you, we've got 11% of the world's species of birds. In this small country, you've got 1,078 different species of birds in this country.
Wait, just I'm sorry that my ears are sometimes accents.
Yeah.
Are you saying birds or
birds? Yeah,
birds? Okay.
BIRD.
Okay, I thought you might be saying bats.
No.
Okay, so before when you were talking about the Batman, you were talking the Birdman.
Yeah.
Clancy, what was his name?
Martin O'Connor.
Martin.
Yeah,
O'Connor. Okay, so he was the Birdman.
Of Uganda.
If anybody was watching and heard me say Batman, I apologize.
Yeah,
Birdman.
You've got 53.9% of the population of the mountain gorillas in the world, in this country. You've got world capital of primates in this, is found in this country.
Yeah.
A place where you go like Chibale National Park, the concentration, about 14 different species of primates, the numbers of chimpanzees, the numbers of olive baboons, the numbers, it's crazy. You're going to go there and you're going to see for yourself.
Can I add one thing that your excellent people, Simon and Nicholas, educated me on?
No.
Okay, so again, Rwandan friends, forgive me. They were saying, everybody goes to Rwanda for the gorillas. We have the gorillas, and we have all of the big five.
Actually, we have the big nine. Let me tell you now. So you have the big five.
Okay, yeah.
Or the usual big five. The lions, the buffaloes, and so on.
Elephant,
The elephants. We have all those big five.
Leopard.
Then,
is that one of the big five?
it's one of the big five. Then you have the next two big five.
Okay.
The chimpanzees and the mountain gorillas. That
Okay.
makes it the big seven, right?
Okay. Yes.
And then you've got Lake Victoria and the Nile. It's a big nine.
Okay.
We're very special.
I would count the mountains, man. If you have the
most.
I always mispronounce them.
Rwenzori. Yeah, but Rwenzori is just one.
And the Bindi impenetrable forest.
That has got 53. That's the one with 53.9% of the world population of mountain gorillas.
Just saying it makes it sound like
It's
gotta
fun.
Go there.
It's an impenetrable forest. It's an amazing, beautiful. And if you fly there, I can tell you, leave a water body like Lake Munyonyi, and then you go over the tropical rainforest of Bwindi. Nothing like that. Nothing like that.
All right, so I'm wondering how long we've been talking. 52 minutes, and if somebody's still watching this, I hope this is still interesting. So we talked about your evolution.
It's live.
Yeah, no, it's not live. No, it's recording. But so to recap, we've talked. Do you think there are any other details that people could learn from? Like if I were to play this to my students, or if somebody watches this and they want to learn about starting a business and going from nothing to having your business empire, have we covered all the lessons? It's to live cheaply. It's to find the opportunities.
Yeah.
In your case, it was to get to your dream. You needed cash flow.
Yeah. But entrepreneurship is pure about solving problems. So at that time, I thought, okay, there was no Ugandan among the top 15 tour operators in this country. Only either Caucasians or Indians.
It's incredible. All of the tour operators were Indian or Caucasian.
Yes. Then I was the first Ugandan to build a lodge in the national parks of this country. So it's going against. First of all, you have to be a rebellious type like myself. You go against what people think.
Right.
Then the other is to solve problems.
Solve problems, break the mold.
Absolutely, solve problems, but solve them well. With good intentions.
What I learned from yours, which I don't think maybe I've done enough in my own life, is to realize that you found people with spare capacity, those cars that weren't being used on Saturdays, and then you realized there are other people that need that spare capacity.
Yeah.
And you found the opportunity for matchmaking, even if that wasn't your goal in life. You saw that that's a way to get the cash flow that's needed to get the cars, that's needed to start taking people. And then your first source of clients, you would go to people that were looking for tour guides. Is that right? Yes,
absolutely.
Okay.
But don't forget that also gives opportunity to the guys who had the cars.
Right.
In terms of earning.
Right.
But it also gives the opportunity to the tour companies because they didn't have the cars.
Right.
So they're able to do their business with quality cars because I've identified where they're.
They basically outsourced.
Absolutely.
And you quietly.
So you're solving problems.
Yeah.
Making other people happy, but you're also surviving by yourself. Yeah.
And then the last few lessons is, you kept your costs low.
Yes.
You bought real estate.
Yes.
And the final few lessons would be diversification, because you can't see all events that are coming.
No, you can't.
At the same time, you're not a catastrophist. You're a person of faith.
Yes.
But it's interesting that just because you're a person of faith, you're actually, you diversify to control for risk.
Yes.
So it's very interesting that you're a person of faith, but you don't assume that faith is going to take care of you.
No. I wake up and work.
Yeah.
Like I've said, even the Bible is very clear. The Bible says that God blesses the works of our hands. Our hands.
God blesses the work
God
of our and our minds.
them.
And
yeah,
our minds.
absolutely. Because of course the hands have to be connected to the mind.
Yeah, right.
So at the end of the day, it means that we have to wake up and do things.
Yeah.
And along the way we get the blessings.
Yeah.
I cannot, if I just sat in my house every morning
Yeah.
and and expect life to work better,
Yeah.
pay school fees for my kids, it doesn't make any sense.
So there are many more questions. This is not the last time that we're hanging out, right?
No.
I'm going to stop the video in case the battery runs out or the memory runs out
Yeah.
for now. So let's call this part 1.
Yeah.
We've covered the highlights of your story from a wartime poverty on the border, nearly dying while smuggling, to having a successful business. And then we're going to get deeper into a few topics.
Yeah,
maybe.
but what you should know is that I'm just at the takeoff level. I want to grow.
You don't feel like you already have.
No. I think I have so much potential. It's taken me 22 years running my own business.
Yeah.
But I also believe that I've understood exactly what to do mainly in the last 4 years.
I sometimes feel like I've only figured things out the last few months.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So we do have plenty of other topics.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about maybe what do you look for when you hire people? What do you look for and how do you fire people? How do you, because you had to let go people.
Yeah, of course, you don't use emotions. You use how to grow emotions when you're dealing in business.
You use what kind of emotions?
You have to grow emotions. You don't apply emotions when you're dealing with
you try to
business.
keep
Yeah, because what happens is that one guy can be able to destroy a business that can actually support 50 other people. So
Right.
you have to remove emotions from keeping one person who will destroy opportunities for other 50 people.
Got it. We also can talk about the industries you want to get into, the potential for Africa and Uganda.
Yeah.
I'm so curious, what do you see as the future for the region? Whether the region will get more integrated, the East African region. Will the East African region expand? Climate change. That's a huge one. I also want to talk about how do you.
I'm doing something for climate change. I'm actually we're just starting a company. I started a company called the Rwenzori Marathon.
Okay.
So we're gonna start. The first marathon is September 3rd. Running along it's gonna be one of the best. From next year, we're gonna push out crazy from next year to bring in more runners into the country. I will talk to you about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And this is a huge one. I promised, we were thinking of questions with your people, with Nicholas and Simon, succession planning.
Yeah.
Even though you think you're still at the beginning, they brought up, I asked them, what kind of questions can I ask as an author that you don't feel comfortable yet asking because you're an employee? And they were like, ask him about succession. Like, are you going to split it up, or do you already foresee like one kid is the one that wants to, or that has a mind for business? So that's an interesting question. But the really huge one, since you're in hospitality and travel, and you want your business to grow. We'd love for everybody on the planet to come and see Uganda and to see everything that's here. Is how do you reconcile that with the fact that getting on a jet plane burns fuel?
Yeah.
And how do you reconcile? You must consider things.
Yeah.
What can be done at the level of the tourism industry? Is there anything that can be done to push the airlines or airline technology, or do you believe in offsets? So that's a topic we don't need to get into now, but I want to plant the seeds of these big topics.
Yeah.
How succession planning in a family business. How do you resolve conflict in a family business if eventually the kids are in the family business? We have a whole Institute for Family Business at Babson, so that'll be interesting.
Really?
Oh yeah, there's an Institute for Family Business. I know we have.
I hope my son can pass and come there actually.
I don't want to make too bold a promise here on a recording that I want to post, but given what I know of you and your story, and I've met Zion. I haven't met the Kaylin, the older.
You haven't met Karen, yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't met them.
Yeah.
But I would
They're
love.
smart kids.
If they're anything like you, I would love to have them in my classroom.
That's fantastic.
That is a promise.
Yeah, fantastic.
But I can't promise admission because that's not my. I don't work in admissions. Yeah. But anyways, I hope whoever's watched this has enjoyed this introduction. There's plenty of other video content and interviews with Amos elsewhere if you look for it. But this has been truly an honor and a pleasure, and thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and this is it for now, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.